After my girlfriend gave the credit to her childhood friend, the top salesman jumped ship. I went abroad for 2 months on a business trip, working hard to negotiate collaborations and secure projects to save my girlfriend's company's cash flow. When I returned home, full of joy, I called my girlfriend, but she told me not to come to the celebratory banquet. You gave the credit to Iheng. He's junior in the company and can't convince everyone to be the general manager. He needs this project more than you do. Hearing my girlfriend's matter-of-fact tone, I was incredulous. Until the fire alarm blared at the celebratory banquet. When I was about to pull up Lin Muyao's hand, she grabbed Zhou Yiheng and fled to the emergency exit. I was completely heartbroken and immediately accepted an offer from a rival company. Chen Yu, are you out of your mind? How dare you cause trouble at Yiheng's celebratory banquet? Why aren't you staying home? What are you up to? Seeing me approach, Lin Muyao angrily grabbed my arm, pulling me to a deserted corner of the banquet hall. Can you please stop it? If you hadn't insisted on doing the project that was assigned to Yiheng, the company would have overcome the difficulties long ago. Why drag it out until now? I was incredulous and sneered, asking, I negotiated the project through hard work. The contract was about to be signed. Why should you let Zhou Yiheng take the credit? He's a guy who can't even tell the office printer from the shredder. What capabilities does he have? Can he even handle it? For these 2 months, I had worked my life out for my girlfriend's company, not having a single good night's sleep, constantly holding meetings and staying up late to write proposals, begging everyone to invest in the company. I managed to bring a multi-million-dollar project to the company. In the banquet hall, Zhou Yiheng strutted over with a glass of red wine, a fake look of apology on his face. Brother Chinyu, you worked hard going abroad on my behalf. I'll take over the reception and the signing of the contract. You can rest easy. Before I could speak, Lin Miao mocked. Why are you being so polite to Chinyu? He's just a stubborn blockhead. You have more ideas. You're definitely better at handling this project than he is. Brother Chinyu, don't blame Sister Miao. She's just worried that I'm inexperienced in the company. To become the general manager, I need a project to back me up. Lin Miao looked at him disapprovingly, her eyes full of affection. Yiheng, why are you apologizing to him? It's his good fortune to pave the way for you. Sister Miao, don't say that. Brother Chinyu will be upset. Zhou Yiheng responded weakly, as if trying to ease the atmosphere. But when Lin Miao couldn't see, he raised his eyebrows at me provocatively. My chest was tight, and I felt very powerless. While I was abroad on business, running around for Lin Miao's company, she didn't ask not even one phone call. As soon as Zhou Yiheng graduated, Lin Miao arranged for him to be her personal assistant. When she came to me after I returned, it was actually to promote Zhou Yiheng to general manager. He had only been with the company for 3 months. It's time for the celebratory speech. Let's go and leave him alone. On the stage, Lin Miao shook the champagne open. Zhou Yiheng hugged her into his arms, affectionately brushing away the drops of wine from her bangs. The surrounding colleagues were full of envy. No way. I think I just saw Manager Zhou kiss Director Lin secretly. So, is Director Lin really Manager Zhou's girlfriend? I thought that guy was just bragging before. Of course, you guys, what do you know? The way Director Lin looks at Manager Zhou is so tender, like she's going to melt. They must be together. Listening to the gossip of my colleagues, I thought about the years I've been with Lin Muyao, and how she has always forbidden me to go public. She was afraid that office romances would have a negative impact, and said that as the company boss, she could not set a bad example. She never let me ride in her car, but picked up and dropped off Zhou Yiheng from work every day. She said that we had to pretend to be strangers in the company, but allowed Zhou Yiheng to sleep in the break room in her office. Even when Zhou Yiheng sneezed during the meeting, she would immediately stop the meeting and take him to rest. We had countless arguments over this. With a dirty mind, you see everything as dirty. Chinyu, why are your thoughts so filthy? Yiheng is just like a younger brother, that's all. You're an old man in his 30s. Why are you competing with a young man? Lin Miao liked to give me the cold shoulder, and in the end, I was always the one to compromise and beg for reconciliation. If this had happened before, I might have rushed onto the stage and beaten Zhou Yiheng to a pulp. But today, I was truly exhausted. Before I could leave, a piercing fire alarm suddenly rang out through the hall. Thick smoke billowed from behind, rising rapidly. The crowd descended into panic, screaming and scrambling in all directions. Instinctively, I rushed toward Lin Muyao, wanting to take her hand. Muyao, stay close behind me. I'll get you out of here. Before I could react, a strong force hit my back, someone shoving me from behind. Caught off guard, I tumbled forward, falling flat on my face. With a crack, excruciating pain shot through my ankle. Immediately after, a heavy kick landed on my lower leg. The force of the kick felt like it was going to shatter my leg. Sweat poured out of me from the pain, and my lower body went numb. In this chaotic and desperate moment, I clearly saw Zhou Yiheng's eyes narrowed into slits, revealing a sinister light, a sneer playing on his twisted lips. Sister Muyao, I feel dizzy and have chest pain. I can't walk anymore. Please help Brother Chen Yu up so we can leave. Zhou Yiheng was trembling all over, deliberately forcing a cold sweat onto his forehead. Yiheng, what's wrong? Don't scare me. Seeing this, Lin Miao forcefully shook off my hand and anxiously held Zhou Yiheng, her voice trembling. Is it your panic attack again? How are you feeling now? Can you hold on? I was furious. He's faking it. How can you not see through his shoddy acting? Chen Yu, how can you be so inappropriate? This is no time to be jealous. Seeing Zhou Yiheng's increasingly pale face, Lin Miao looked increasingly worried. Yiheng is not feeling well. I need to take him away first. Hearing this, my whole body felt frozen. My lower leg is probably broken. I can't stand. Are you going to abandon me for him? I called the fire department. The firefighters will be here soon. Lin Miao grabbed Zhou Yiheng's hand and fled toward the safety exit. Waiting a little longer won't kill you, Chen Yu. Just wait here for the rescue. The fire and smoke relentlessly spread. Every breath felt like my lungs were burning. Combined with several days of nonstop work, my consciousness was gradually fading. With the last bit of my strength, I pleaded, please don't leave me. As she brushed past me, Lin Miao didn't even spare me a glance. It turned out, I had no place in her heart at all. At that moment, my heart died completely. When I woke up, my right leg was in a cast, suspended at the end of the bed. Brother Yu, you're finally awake. Are you feeling any discomfort anywhere else? My colleague, Ling Huan, asked with concern. Because I had inhaled too much smoke in the fire, I had lost consciousness. Ling Huan said she saw me and carried me out of the hall on her back. I thanked her and agreed to treat her to a meal when I was discharged. The news later reported, a chef's improper operation led to a fire in the stove, which eventually spread. Luckily, there were not many casualties. After Ling Huan left, I made a phone call. Director Xia, I've thought about it, and I've decided to join your company next week. A surprised voice came from the other end. Chen Yu, you finally agreed. Men should prioritize their careers. I guarantee you the best treatment overseas. But you mentioned before that you weren't comfortable leaving your fiancé alone in the country. It doesn't matter anymore. Don't worry about it. It's all in the past, I replied blandly. Director Chen wisely didn't ask any further questions. A few minutes later, he sent me a link to the employment contract. That night, after signing the contract, I saw Zhou Yiheng's updated WeChat moments. Feeling sick, my sister cooked me a bowl of hot porridge, so full of warmth, grateful to have you. The accompanying photo showed Lin Muyao wearing an apron, standing in front of the stove, washing dishes. This time, I wasn't angry. Instead, I gave his WeChat moment a like. In the 4 years of our relationship, Lin Muyao had never cooked for me. When I had a high fever, she wouldn't even order takeout for me. I thought she couldn't cook. Once, feeling sorry for how hard she worked, I got up early to buy the freshest ingredients from the market and made her a nutritious meal. I delivered it to her office in the scorching sun, drenched in sweat. But I saw my girlfriend flirting with Zhou Yiheng. Sister Muyao, I want to have hot pot near here for lunch. Don't be so impatient, little brother. I'll take you there later. My girlfriend smiled and touched Zhou Yiheng's abs. But when she turned and saw me, her face instantly darkened. Chen Yu, didn't I tell you not to come looking for me, except for work? Seeing this, Zhou Yiheng walked over and put his arm around my shoulder, pretending to ask, Brother Yu, do you want to eat together? But we only booked a table for 2. I sneered, put down my lunchbox, and left the office. After work, they took the chicken soup I had made to feed the stray cats downstairs. The next morning, the doctor came to check on me, saying I could be discharged the day after tomorrow. My phone suddenly rang. Lin Muyao was calling. Chen Yu, where the hell have you gone? Today is the project contract signing. You're not at the company assisting Yiheng. What are you running around for? I truthfully replied, hospital, lucky enough to have a near-death experience. Lin Muyao scoffed. When are you going to stop making a scene? The firefighters arrived in time. What could have happened to you? I already called and confirmed the firefighters didn't see you, and the staff said you left the scene long ago. Yesterday you pretended to have a fracture. Today you're pretending to be hospitalized. Yiheng is just generous and doesn't hold it against you. I'm giving you 10 minutes. Get back to the company right now. I peeled the orange that the patient in the next bed had given me and said slowly, Zhou Yiheng is so good at handling things. You're so confident in letting him handle the project. I won't interfere. The person in charge over there specifically wants you. So get over here. If you delay things, don't ever come to the company again. I shoved half an orange into my mouth. As you wish. I'm voluntarily resigning. ignoring Lin Muyao's exasperated voice. I hung up the phone. After being discharged from the hospital, I took a taxi back home. After tidying up, I pulled my luggage and took one last look at the apartment I'd lived in for 4 years. Lin Muyao and I were childhood sweethearts. Our parents even arranged a childhood engagement for us. Until her father died unexpectedly, the surrounding relatives were like tigers and wolves, waiting to devour her inheritance. Lin Muyao would call me crying every day, saying she was afraid of not being able to keep her company. So as soon as I graduated, I joined Lin's company to manage things on her behalf. That was when we were in the sweet part of our relationship. She would write me pink love letters every day, boldly expressing her burning love for me. She carefully recorded the small moments we spent together, making them into a handmade photo album filled with our memories. We went to do pottery together and regarded the jointly made pieces as precious keepsakes. Until 2 years ago, when the company did charity work, Lin Muyao sponsored a poor student and met Zhou Yiheng. Our relationship gradually cooled. I tried to communicate with my girlfriend. She complained that I was too focused on work and wasn't keeping her company, that I lived like an old man and had no fun. But at that time, the wolves were circling Lin's company, and I didn't dare to slack off. Later, she started staying out all night. Zhou Yiheng invited her to go to bars to sing and dance. They rode motorcycles recklessly on mountain roads. They camped in tents on mountaintops to watch the stars. 3 months ago, Lin Muyao invited Zhou Yiheng to join the company as her personal assistant and took very good care of him. When I was tired from work and wanted a hug, she would push me away but actively give Zhou Yiheng a massage. I wanted to adopt a puppy to care for together, but she firmly objected, yet she happily adopted a group of stray animals with Zhou Yiheng. She forgot our anniversary this year, but turned around and planned a romantic surprise birthday party for Zhou Yiheng. Remembering this, I couldn't help but sneer. I took out my phone to book the earliest flight this morning, planning to go back to my hometown to accompany my parents, and then go abroad for work a week later. Suddenly, Lin Muyao called. My mom said she hasn't seen you in a while. She wants you to come over for a meal. Umph. You know very well what you shouldn't say. Don't even think about tattling on me. I agreed. After all, Aunt Lin had always treated me well. It would be a good time to break up and call off the engagement dinner. I helped out in the kitchen, chatting with Aunt Lin about everyday matters. Just as I was thinking about when to bring up the topic, the doorbell rang. Lin Miao drove back, followed by Zhou Yiheng. I wasn't surprised. Mom, this is my friend Xiao Zhou. He just finished work and is here to freeload a meal. After saying that, she rolled her eyes at me and went to the living room with a straight face. I didn't even glance at her. Zhou Yiheng was eager to show his attentiveness to Lin's mother, and cheerfully said he would also help out in the kitchen. I heard Aunt Lin pretend to scold Lin Muyao. Why are you giving Xiao Yu such an attitude as soon as you come home? What's the matter? He just got back from a business trip abroad. You should be more considerate. Xiao Yu has been working so hard for Lin's lately. You need to take care of him. How's the engagement dinner next week coming along? The banquet, wedding preparations, invitation list. We can't delay it any longer. The wedding banquet was originally set on our 4-year anniversary, but Lin Muyao, busy celebrating Zhou Yiheng's birthday, left me midway and ran off. I pursed my lips, thankful that it hadn't actually happened. Everyone was present, and just as I was about to confront them, Zhou Yiheng, looking like a fierce demon, blocked me. Qinyu, don't be too smug. Sister Muyao will not marry you. The one who isn't loved is just a lowly male gold digger. As he spoke, he picked up the pot of hot soup from the stove and poured it over himself. I only have Sister Muyao. No one else can dream of taking her away. Guess who she'll side with after seeing you pour this on me? A plate shattered on the floor with a loud crash. The people in the living room were immediately drawn to the noise. I curled my lips into a cold smile, not reacting at all. Yiheng, what happened? Lin Miao rushed over anxiously, forcefully pushing me aside to check the blisters forming on his forehead. Brother Qinyu said I wasn't worthy of being here, and even said he'd beat me up every time he sees me. Seeing Zhou Yiheng's tearful appearance, Lin Muyao's eyes practically wanted to devour me. She pointed at my nose and started scolding. Qinyu, are you deliberately here to make trouble? Or did Yiheng offend you that you have to hurt him like this? Quickly bow your head and apologize to Yiheng, or I'll never forgive you. Aunt Lin tried to smooth things over, pulling on Lin Muyao's sleeve to make her stop talking. I couldn't help but laugh, saying to Zhou Yiheng, who was pretending to be dead, the project, I'll give it to you. Lin Muyao, I don't want her either. Lin Muyao was stunned upon hearing this, staring at me in disbelief. Qinyu, what do you mean? She put on a stern face and threatened. I advise you to know when to stop. If you keep this up, there will be no turning back. Look in the mirror. Who would want a useless freeloader like you? If you still have any shame, I'll give you 1 minute to apologize and take back your words. After graduation, I gave up a promising future, rejecting countless offers from cutting-edge companies with high salaries. I worked diligently, like a horse for the Lin family. Now, it was all in vain. I raised a white-eyed wolf. It means exactly what it says. We've broken up. I think you two are a better match. I turned my head, pulled out the recorder from my pocket, and handed it to Aunt Lin apologetically. Aunt Lin, cancel the engagement banquet. We won't eat this meal today. I'll visit again when I have the chance. The moment I boarded the plane, I felt a lightness in my body and mind like never before. I no longer had to work myself to the bone for Lin Muyao's company. I no longer had to worry at home, waiting for her to come back after being out all night. I no longer had to be heartbroken because she was flirting with other men. I thought I'd be in pain for a while, healing from heartbreak. But these past few days at home, my heart was full and content. I had let go of the work that turned day into night. I spent time chatting and eating with my parents, and went shopping and hanging out with my childhood friends. During this time, Zhou Yiheng sent me countless photos. Lin Muyao accompanied him to see a soccer game overseas. They were together in the Maldives looking at the crystal clear sea and sky. They were in Turkey watching the colorful hot air balloons slowly rising. In France, they were looking at the majestic Eiffel Tower towering into the clouds. I recalled a time when I had a break and had suggested traveling with my girlfriend. Lin Miao had looked at me coldly, her impatience clearly showing between her eyebrows. Oh, stop it. What fun would it be with you? I'd rather stay by myself than go out with you. Stop pestering me. My phone jumped with another new message. Zhou Yiheng sent. Brother Chinyu, Sister Miao has accompanied me to many places. It seems like she's completely forgotten about you. I lowered my eyes and slowly typed. The more people lack something, the more they like to flaunt it. Looks like even though you are eager, she still hasn't accepted you. You don't have to report your things to me anymore. I don't care. The typing bubble showed up on the other side, and I instantly blocked him. The next morning, I was woken up early by a call from Lin Muyao. The HR department just sent me your resignation letter. Chinyu, are you done making trouble? It's been a few days now, and you're still not coming to coax me. I sneered. She thought my breakup was just me throwing a tantrum. In the past, every time we had a fight, she would give me the cold shoulder. And I always gave in and begged for forgiveness, buying her favorite jewelry and bags. She would just carelessly throw them into the trash, while she would turn around and put the small trinkets Zhou Yiheng gifted her in the car like treasures. Where the hell have you been gallivanting off to? There's never anyone home. Chinyu, I'm telling you, you're so old, yet you're still pulling these runaway tricks. Look at Yiheng. He's younger than you and not nearly as stubborn. I yawned languidly, enunciating each word. Lin Miao, do I need to reiterate this? We broke up. It's none of your business where I go. Find some time to sign the papers. With that, I hung up the phone. I hadn't expected Lin Muyao to come looking for me at my house. At that moment, I was chatting with my colleague, Ling Huan, in the courtyard. She had heard I was going abroad tomorrow and came to say goodbye. When Lin Muyao saw Ling Huan at the door, her hands trembled with anger, and she lunged forward to grab her hair. Chinyu, who is she? No wonder you said you wanted to break up and cancel the engagement. You found a new love, haven't you? How could you do this to me? Ling Huan looked at Lin Muyao in surprise, shocked that the company's general manager Lin was here. I smiled apologetically at her, waving for her to leave first. Then, ignoring Lin Muyao's struggles, I pulled her into her car to talk. It wasn't that I wanted to communicate with her, I just didn't want to disturb my parents. In the car, Lin Muyao grabbed my arm. Chinyu, aren't you doing all this just to provoke me into marrying you? Fine, I agree. I won't run away from next week's engagement party. I was about to retort when I caught a glimpse of a piece of white paper on the card slot. Picking it up, it clearly had the words in vitro fertilization consent form printed on it. At the end were the signatures of Lin Muyao and Zhou Yiheng, in black and white. The date showed that it was 2 months ago. A chill went straight from the soles of my feet to the top of my head, briefly short-circuiting my brain. Lin Muyao's face instantly turned pale. She swallowed nervously. Chinyu, it's not what you think. I actually didn't agree to it. The agreement was ultimately voided. You know, Yiheng had just graduated at that time, and he only had me and his grandmother by his side. His grandmother was seriously ill then, and on her deathbed, she wanted to see a great-grandchild. Yiheng had no other way but to. I interrupted her, finding the situation utterly laughable. What exactly do you take me for? Am I so easy to bully that you repeatedly trample on me like this? You keep saying you only treat Zhou Yiheng as a younger brother, fooling yourself by having your cake and eating it too. Taking me for a fool. Is it fun? Lin Muyao's expression was unnatural as she climbed onto my arm, opening her mouth to say something. Where were you during our engagement party? In front of all our relatives and friends, you abandoned me to go celebrate Zhou Yiheng's birthday. During this business trip abroad, did you call me even once or show any concern? You were busy helping Zhou Yiheng get promoted to general manager, taking the project I worked so hard to get and making it a wedding dress for him. That night in the hotel lobby, you left me alone in the fire. My leg was crippled. I couldn't run at all. Did you care about my life or death? Even when I begged you to stay, you didn't even look at me and left with Zhou Yiheng. I peeled Lin Muyao's fingers off my arm, one by one. From now on, whatever you do is none of my business. We've broken up. Opening the car door, I stepped out. Lin Muyao grabbed the corner of my shirt, her eyes red, finally scared. Chenyu, back when we were dating, you swore that you would only love me in this life, that no matter what I did you would forgive me, and you wouldn't break up with me. We were indeed an enviable couple. Friends who had seen us said that I spoiled her to the bone. But now things have long changed. The cheerful ringtone of a phone suddenly sounded, breaking the silence in the car. It was Zhou Yiheng's exclusive ringtone. Lin Muyao answered the call with an unnatural expression. Sister Muyao, my panic attacks are acting up again. I'm so scared. I'm home alone. Can you come keep me company? She glanced at me with embarrassment, answering softly. Chenyu, wait for me at home. Back when we were doing inspections in the mountains, I was almost harassed by bad people. Yiheng suffered from severe panic attacks because he saved me. Yiheng is just a younger brother, that's all. He has no family, he's so pitiful. I'll go check on him first, I can explain everything to you later. I sneered silently, turning away to leave. I pulled out my SIM card and threw it into the trash. I'm leaving the country tomorrow, and all of this is none of my business. But the unexpected still happened. When I was about to board the plane, my parents called, telling me to go to the hospital immediately, because Lin Miao had run a red light and had a car accident yesterday. She was so frightened that she passed out on the spot. When she was taken to the hospital, they discovered she was 3 months pregnant. At the bedside, I silently looked into her eyes. Honestly, the moment I received the news, I couldn't help but doubt whose child this was. Lin Muyao gently stroked her belly, her expression soft. When she looked at me, she first feigned grievance and attacked me. You were always busy with work and never had time for me before, so I got closer to Yiheng. Then she took my hand, sincerely saying, Chenyu, let's get back together. Nothing ever happened between me and Yiheng. There's only ever been you. I promise I'll keep my distance from Yiheng in the future. Let's live well together. I remained unmoved. Perhaps my skeptical gaze was too obvious. Seeing this, she was about to lose her temper. Chenyu, you were the one who always asked for reconciliation after our arguments before. Now I've lowered my head. What else do you want? This child is yours. Aunt Lin came over and patted my shoulder. Xiaoyu, I watched you two grow up together. Muyao is just a playful girl with a temper. She's liked you since she was little, and I've checked, this child is indeed yours. Just forgive her this time. The engagement banquet next week is all prepared. I naturally trusted Aunt Lin. My parents also came to persuade me, telling me to consider it before making a decision. Clearly, they also wanted to have a grandchild. After a long while, I could only compromise and nod. Walking out of the ward, I called Manager Xia, postponing my overseas job and opting to work from home for the time being. I gave Lin Miao another chance, but I myself was doubtful and uncertain. Would she really change? Could we continue forward? After being discharged, Lin Miao went back to how she was when we first started dating. She no longer contacted Zhou Yiheng and began to be warm and considerate towards me. She went home and decorated a pink baby room. She would often add baby clothes, bottles, and diapers. She also started watching parenting videos online, reading parenting books, and learning about baby care. Seeing her eagerly anticipating the baby's arrival, my attitude softened. Lin Miao never cooked for me before, but now she prepared nutritious and hearty love breakfast for me every day. She would watch every movie I liked with me. When buying baby items, she would also pick out matching suits and ties for me. Yesterday, after her prenatal checkup, she went out of her way to visit a pet store and brought home the samyet I had always wanted. I was thinking, let's just live peacefully like this and bury all the unhappiness of the past. But a broken mirror cannot be made whole. It was all just a facade of peace. That evening, Zhou Yiheng called Lin Muyao. Looking at her sleeping face, I went out to the balcony to answer the call. Sister Miao, I interrupted him. What do you want with her? The other end paused, and I could only hear heavy breathing. After a long time, just as I was about to hang up, he spoke. Brother Chenyu, it's you who won't let Sister Miao see me, right? Her hands and feet are attached to her own body. I'm not tying her down. Where she wants to go, whether she wants to go or not is her own freedom. Zhou Yiheng, flustered and red-faced, told me to shut up, accusing me angrily. What are you pretending to be a gentleman for? You must be feeling very smug right now. You clearly have everything, living parents and a successful career. What else could you possibly want? Chunyu, you selfish beast. I only have Sister Muyao left. Why do you have to take her away from me? If I had known, I would have found a way at the celebration banquet to make sure you never came out again. It's just your lucky day. I frowned, sensing something was off, and tightened my grip on the phone. When Lin Muyao wanted to sponsor Zhou Yiheng, even bringing him home to stay temporarily, I strongly disagreed. I could see his inner twisted and obsessive nature at a glance, but I hadn't anticipated he'd be this ruthless. It was just a guess at the time, but now everything became clear. Clearly, he was the one who tripped me in the fire. My face instantly darkened. Zhou Yiheng, do you really think I'm a soft target you can manipulate? I was wondering why you were willing to come back. It looks like Sister Muyao hasn't told you anything. After saying that, he left a final line. Chunyu, you just wait and see. Soon you will know who Sister Muyao truly loves. I hung up the phone, unable to listen any further. After thinking for a while, I contacted Ling Shui, asking for her help with a matter at the company. Finally, I called my childhood friend, a top-tier hacking expert, to ask for a favor. After arranging everything, I returned to the bedroom. I quietly watched Lin Muyao for a while, not sleeping all night. But in the end, she still disappointed me. Recently, Lin Muyao's showers had her spending an hour in the bathroom with her phone. Before, her wash-up would take no more than 20 minutes. She started to space out frequently, often not hearing what I was saying. I pretended not to notice her changes. I was just waiting to see what she would choose this time. This morning during our walk, Lin Muyao carefully probed. Chunyu, last month when you were on a business trip, that overseas market development project you secured, Yiheng said he's recently encountered some difficulties. I want to go to the company to take a look. I handed her a cup of calming tea. No need, just stay home and relax. I've arranged for new personnel to join the company. As long as Zhou Yiheng doesn't cause trouble, the project will proceed smoothly. She still wouldn't give up, and after a while, she insisted to me again. In a few days, it's the anniversary of Yiheng's grandmother's death. She was a kind and gentle person. When we went to the mountains for inspection before, Yiheng's grandmother even cooked us congee. Chunyu, let's go pay our respects to her. I gently touched her slightly protruding belly and refused again. During the last prenatal checkup, the doctor said you need to rest and recuperate these days. Don't worry, I'll ask someone to go and express my condolences. Hearing this, Lin Muyao put down her teacup in a huff. Seeing my uncompromising expression, she opened her mouth, but finally said nothing. Until evening, taking advantage of when I went out to buy groceries, she secretly drove away. On the table, there was only a note. Chunyu, tonight's business dinner. Yiheng said that the opposing representative has been making things difficult for him and had given him a lot of drinks. I'm worried, so I'm going to take a look. I promise to be right back. I dropped the pregnant women's recipe book I was holding. I sat despondently in the living room until dawn. Lin Muyao did not return all night. I couldn't help but shake my head and sneer. Before, when I drank until I had a stomach hemorrhage to get clients, she'd walk away unconcerned. But Zhou Yiheng could call her away at any time, no matter what. Again and again, she abandoned me. I took out my phone, found an unknown number, and anonymously sent a text message. A lost treasure rediscovered. True love needs no words. Only useless old men would try every way possible to climb to the top. The accompanying picture was of Lin Muyao's cheeks flushed red as she lay on the bed. On her snow-white chest, there were several ambiguous red marks and finger imprints. Like a world-destroying thunderbolt, it instantly plunged me into hell. I couldn't help but question myself. Why did I believe she would change? How many more chances am I going to give her? I'm just utterly stupid, completely defeated. As I opened the page on my phone to buy a ticket, the hospital suddenly called. Are you Mr. Lin Muyao's husband? Please come to the hospital to sign the papers as soon as possible. She has a threatened miscarriage. The situation is very critical, and she needs surgery immediately. After Lin Muyao was pushed into the operating room, I called my parents. Then, I sat silently in a chair, wordless. The threatened miscarriage, the reason for it, couldn't be clearer. I asked the doctor to do a paternity test, by the way. They looked at me with sympathy. I only felt a sense of relief, as if a shackle had been broken. Zhou Yiheng cowered in front of the operating room, muttering incessantly. I was so careful. How could this happen? He turned his head, looking at me with resentment, his expression distorted. Chunyu, it's all your fault. If it wasn't for you preventing Muyao Jie from seeing me, she wouldn't have sneaked out, and our child wouldn't be gone. You're a murderer. I swept him with a hateful, cold gaze and punched him repeatedly. Who is the real murderer? You know it very well. Did you think I would let you off easily? I've already restored the surveillance footage from the fire. The green light in the operating room lit up, and Lin Muyao was pushed into a regular ward. Ignoring Zhou Yiheng, who was lying on the ground like a dead dog behind me, I turned and took the special expedited paternity test report. As I expected, on the test report, under the column of genetic match, it indicated a non-family relationship. It wasn't like I had no suspicions. I just didn't expect that Lin Ant, who was a role model of a teacher, would also deceive me in cooperation, hiding the truth of Lin Muyao having undergone IVF. In the ward, Lin Muyao woke up. Her eyes were red, and she looked at me guiltily. The baby is gone. I'm sorry. Chunyu, that day I was just going to take a look and then leave right away. It was just that later, I was persuaded by a sly client to drink. I couldn't stop myself and got drunk, so I booked a single room in the hotel to rest. This morning, on the drive home, I had a car accident. I interrupted her. You're saying you were alone all last night? As she nodded vigorously, I opened the photo from that message and held it in front of her. Lin Muyao's expression suddenly froze. Just as she was about to argue, I threw the paternity test report onto the bed. Chunyu, listen to me. She flipped through the pages, her body suddenly stiffening, finally realizing something. She reached out to throw herself into my arms, her legs giving out, and she knelt down by the hospital bed, clutching my pants leg, her eyes filled with tears. There was only one standard room left at the hotel. Last night was an accident. I was drunk, and Yiheng helped me back to my room. I don't remember what happened after that. I woke up and found Yiheng was in bed too. I was just afraid you would be angry if I told you. I can explain this, child. Lin Muyao, you disgust me. Take care of yourself, and don't bother me again. I left the hospital and took a taxi to the airport. This time, no one tried to stop me from leaving. I suddenly realized that it wasn't too late, that everything could still be salvaged. After completing the entry procedures, I found an agent and rented a small apartment. Once everything was taken care of, I handed the prepared legal documents to a lawyer in China. Zhou Yiheng tried to harm me in the fire and destroyed all the surveillance footage afterwards. I found my childhood friend, and we managed to restore the video with great difficulty. I knew Zhou Yiheng's character very well, so I had Ling Shui join the project team to keep a close watch on him. As I expected, he colluded with the other company's manager, taking a large amount of kickbacks. I printed out copies of this evidence and the financial records and sent them to both companies. After dealing with these matters, I immediately threw myself into my new life. The company I work for is at the top of the industry, with countless cutting-edge resources and projects. I'm waiting to show my capabilities. Everything is gradually getting better. Later, Ling Shui called me to gossip. She said Zhou Yiheng was about to be sued for intentional assault. And because his collusion with the other company's manager to take kickbacks was exposed, he was blacklisted by the entire industry. The two companies ultimately lost trust in each other, and their partnership fell apart. Listening to Ling Shui's relieved voice, I chuckled silently. She paused and tentatively asked me, the overseas partnership project fell through. Lin Muyao is really panicked. This time the Lin family might not be able to hold on. Are you still worried? I cut her off, answering, it has nothing to do with me anymore. If you want to come here to rely on me, you are welcome anytime. Ling Shui giggled and hung up the phone, playfully saying, then it's a deal. A week later, Lin Muyao chased me overseas. A colleague came to my office, saying someone was looking for me downstairs. I inquired at the front desk, and it turned out to be Lin Muyao. I didn't go downstairs because there was no need to anymore. Perhaps seeing that I refused to meet, she sent me a message. Chunyu, I really know I was wrong this time. Can you give me another chance? I fired Zhou Yiheng and cut all ties with him. I just realized that the person I've always loved is you. The company can't do without you, and I can't do without you either. I blocked her contact information. Late-coming affection is lighter than grass. Why didn't you do this earlier? She waited downstairs until it was dark and the rain was pouring down. But I didn't care about her. Knowing that I wouldn't change my mind, Lin Muyao finally went back to China in disgrace. 3 days later, an unknown number called. I answered, and Lin Muyao's voice, full of pain and madness, came from the phone. Chunyu. While Zhou Yiheng was waiting for his court summons, I asked him out for drinks and pretended to get drunk, and I drugged him. It's all because of him that we broke up. Chunyu, come back to my side. She thought that as long as Zhou Yiheng was gone, we could get back together. So under the pressure of the Lin family going bankrupt, being chased by the bank for debts, and her relatives dividing the assets, in a state of mental confusion, she drugged Zhou Yiheng and stabbed him with a knife. Zhou Yiheng didn't die, but he was left with paralysis on one side of his body. The two ended up hating and blaming each other, and both went to jail. Ling Shui finished her story, swallowing the last mouthful of tea. and couldn't help but sigh. I shook my head and smiled, looking at her. Aren't you heartbroken? I didn't say anything, just flicked her on the forehead. What kind of position does CEO Chen plan to arrange for me? You'll find out when you get there. She suddenly reached out and stopped in front of me, half jokingly saying, Chinyu, why don't you consider me? A gentle breeze, carrying the scent of magnolia, wafted by, and Ling Shui's ponytail bobbed with the wind. I gave a mysterious smile, not replying. Slowly, I strolled with her towards the company. After all, there's a long way to go. The end.